You want to do glam like this, but you struggle with liking how it turns out. This is your in-depth tutorial to teach you how to achieve that 90s eye and fresh natural skin that actually lasts.
Skin prep. Seriously, whip out your notebooks. Exfoliation literally makes the biggest difference. Your skin is super smooth, your makeup looks super smooth and perfected. There are a few others on the market, but these are my favorite. Road glazing milk. I go pretty heavy-handed with this stuff. This just gives your skin that instant drink of water, especially following the toning pads. I think these two products together are just so good. Then finish off with your favorite moisturizer. Right now, I'm hyperfixated on the Caudalie Aveeno Perfect moisturizer. This one is really brightening and keeps my pores nice and small. Now let it sit, let it marinate, let it become one with your beautiful skin before you put your makeup on. Primer, she's optional. If you don't have one, don't worry. And if you do, take one that blurs and hydrates your skin. I'm using the Refi Blur and Hydrate Primer. To even out my complexion, I'm going in with the Haus Labs foundation in the shade 100 Light Neutral. From the center of my face, buffing out. The key for natural looking skin, on top of the skin prep, on top of maybe the primer if you use it, is really working in small layers, not using a lot of product all at once. Most importantly though, a light hand. Using a light hand literally has changed the game for me. It really makes a difference. Even if you are deciding to pump your foundation directly onto your face, use a light hand and kind of like fan it out, you know what I mean, like this action. And for concealer, I'm gonna go in with the Haus Labs concealer. Same thing, I'm working it on the back of my hand, but if you do prefer to go right on the face, that's fine. I feel like this technique with putting the product on your hand and then the brush and then your skin is more impactful when doing your foundation than it is concealer. I like to go to the outside of my eye to lift. I like to go just in the center of my face. Less is more, trust me on this one. You guys know I always say that the makeup tutorials I do always focus on making sure your makeup looks good in person. That's like kind of one of my main things here. Some shadow back into my face, aka contouring, to go right on or below my cheekbone. I know a lot of people say to go right above it. Some people put contour like up here. I think that looks unnatural and kind of messy. I like to go under my brow bone, my cheekbone, and then my orbital bone. That is the placement. See how that like naturally enhanced my face? It's not changing it. It's not trying to like restructure the bones in my face. It's just enhancing them. Bronzing using the OIS bronzer. I'm going on my forehead, down my temples, and then the tops of my cheeks. I think it's especially important when you're doing a little bit more of like an edgy eye or like a darker eye look that your skin looks super fresh, super natural. Even if you're doing this whole routine, this is obviously not natural, but the skin is glowy. It's skin-like. So just look at how that blends out. Really, I've never used a bronzer so creamy. It's the shade Motivate, and it's just the perfect like a bombshell bronzed shade for me. Setting as per usual, doing my backwards setting technique. Time for eyes, I'm using my Chanel 266 palette. Carving my eye out with like this neutral, almost cool tone taupe shade. Dragging it along the crease to the brow bone and then dragging up and out. Also making sure to bring that over to the orbital bone just a little bit. Something like that, just to kind of structure and shape your eye. Also sweeping that on my lower lash line. Going in with the shade EM3. Sweeping it just on the lid space. I'm not dragging up to the crease. I'm keeping it just on my lid. Okay, this is what really pulls everything together. Tight line with a black crayon. I always try and do this on camera and then I mess up, so I'll be right back. On your eye shape, you could also add a liner on your top lash line. I prefer not to. And as I pretty much always do, I like to take a black eyeshadow and just tuck it on my upper inner corner and then also on my lower, connecting it to the crayon liner that we did. Then while we're here, I like to define my beauty marks that I already have, and then I also like to add a few freckles sometimes. Today I'm going to add just a few. Brushing my brows up with a clear brow gel, going in with a little bit of powdered bronzer. The same places I put it before. This is the Haus Labs one. I'm also running some over the freckles on my nose. For blush, I'm going to go in with the shade Mimi from Westman Atelier. You guys know this is literally my favorite blush of all time. It's this beautiful like tawny beige shade. You'll see. To just place it pretty naturally on the apples of my cheeks. Just the perfect shade. I don't know how else to describe it. It's like a flush of color. It matches perfectly with bronzer. I don't know. I just think it's so pretty. Using a brush to be super specific with where I place it and where it blends out. I don't want to blend it with all that beautiful bronzer. Just want the blush to have kind of its own moment. It still makes sense with the whole look. I think I'm crazy. A little bit of Fix Plus. By a little bit, I mean a lot. While that sets into my face, I'm gonna do my lips. Fixating on this shade from MAC. It's called Greige. Finger and just kind of buffing out the line so it's not too perfect. Then I'm gonna go in with one of the new Makeup by Mario lip glosses in the shade Bear and just tap it in. I don't want super glossy lips. I want them to look really hydrated and plump and juicy and pouty, and that looks gorgeous. The reason I said you guys are gonna think I'm crazy is because I'm going in with another setting spray. I'm going out tonight, so this is gonna make sure my makeup stays on all night. Finishing off with the One Size Fantasize mascara. Okay, voila, we're all done. Sexy, sultry, cool. This look always hits. This routine is one I will never retire. I mean, it's so good. Let me know when you try it out. I love you guys. Bye.